The good, the bad, the ugly. At least one good story, bad story, and ugly story here today.
All right.
The good one from earlier in the week. A commencement speaker at UMass Dartmouth gave every graduate $1,000 in cash. Now, he is a billionaire, Robert Hale Jr., founder of Granite Telecommunications, worth more than $1 billion. But the catch was that he was going to give every student $1,000, but you have to give $500 to someone else.
Each of you is getting $1,000 cash right now. Okay, hang on. Listen, there's a stipulation. Hang on. The first $500 is our gift to you. The second $500 is for you to give to somebody else or another organization who could use it more than you.
All right. This is a nice thing. You like they were thrilled when they're getting $1,000. They still get $500.
Yeah.
They pass $500 on to somebody else. It's a pay it forward type of thing from the billionaire. I don't like your face. You don't like
it's a little cheap.
You think maybe give him $10,000?
Yeah. How many people were graduating? Do we know the class number?
Small college.
What's the college again?
College
UMass?
is no. It's UMass Dartmouth is the name of it. So it's not the University of Massachusetts. It's.
So I want to know how many people graduating.
Let
Because
me take a look.
to me, if you're a billionaire,
Yeah.
let's say there's
I bet there's not 500.
500 people graduating.
Yeah.
So he.
Roughly.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but anytime these commencement speakers, even when they are billionaires, when they say, "I've taken care of all your loans, all your student loans are taken care of," and they all cheer and everything, and it's like, well, good for them, but I didn't have my student loans taken care of. You know what I mean? I'm
see,
that guy.
you're different on that.
I'm
See.
bitter guy. I'm bitter
Yeah.
guy.
You are
on
a
that.
bitter guy.
I mean, it's
you
just
don't like it when they go big. See, I'd rather that. I'd rather them say, "I'm paying off everyone's student loans
But
here."
that's different because you don't like
I'm a
it.
billionaire.
But you don't like it when billionaires leave money to their kids. They make them earn it. So it's
Yeah.
like, you took out the loan. You have to pay back the loan. I'm not just some fairy that's going to come pay for everything for you. I kind of like the $500 for you, but $500 to do something good in the world.
Also, not everybody has loans.
That's true.
Sure.
So you don't
That's
get
right.
anything.
So you get nothing if you don't have
My
it.
mom and dad are loaded too, and they paid for everything, so I come out of this with nothing.
Right. So I
I
don't
mean,
get
if you want to look at it as getting something.
It is a nice thing, but I always think to myself, why should the kid who just happened to, let's say one kid goes to, Harvard and one goes to Yale, and the Harvard speaker pays off all the student loans, but the Yale speaker who's just as rich decides not to. It's like, well, now I owe $200,000.
spot.
Yeah, like my kid owes $200,000, and his kid doesn't.
Would you sidle up to him after the commencement speech and be like, "Excuse me, I just want to let you know I have another child at Yale.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to be doing any speaking there,
Right, but maybe
or
I have a kid here, but he's a junior right now.
I know. I get a little bit mad at myself for thinking that way because that's like when somebody gives, it's kind of like when Oprah gives $10 million to one charity, but not to another, and that charity goes, "Hey, what about us?"
Yeah.
Really, any good is good.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving.
Yeah.
You're giving, so
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter whether you like it or not. The other person.
I don't know if they're going to be able to check on these students, though. I mean, if they keep all 1,000, how's one to know?
no, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the kids can be crooked with it if they want. They
wanted
say,
to.
you know what, I'm gonna give the $500 to my roommate that was my roommate for 4 years, and I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna give you $500. You give me $250 back.
Right, you could do that.
But then they'd have $750.
Yeah.
Moment of honesty.
Yeah.
I don't know how this was given out. Let's just say,
Yeah.
for fun, as you're leaving, you're handed an envelope with $1,000 cash in it.
Okay.
Would you give $500 away to a cause?
You're not going to believe me, but I would, because I would feel so beholden to that. I would feel like it's karma if you keep it, because this is a generous offer, and I think and I would give it. But then again, if I'm a starving college student, I'm in a different place.
And this $1,000 could be towards your vacation you're
Of
about to go
course.
to celebrate.
Anything.
I thought, what my first thought was, just full honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Keep $750, give out $250.
That's what Dave was saying. Give a little bit.
I think some of them.
Yeah, I know he says half, but I'd be like, I'll slide $250
I would
off.
do what he said, because I feel like you're just starting your life. It's $1,000, which is not chump change, but it's not like it's life-changing money.
Mm-mm.
So you keep $500. Maybe you just have some fun with it, and you give $500. You do what he says.
I mean, it's $500. you didn't have.
Right, exactly.
So,
You weren't expecting it.
But some people might say that. They may say, look, I've got a friend that's in a bad place.
Yeah.
And they do go to school here,
Well, you
but
could do
they
that.
really need the help. And
You can do that.
he said that,
Yeah,
give
you
it
can
to an
do that.
organization or to
or
a
if
person.
somebody, that deserves it more than you.
It doesn't have to be a charity. There's plenty of people out
Sure,
there that
yeah,
need help.
yeah.
Or church or synagogue or whatever.
Yeah, I might stop at a church on the way out and just pop it in the donation box.
You saw Ghost. You saw Whoopi Goldberg. She gave it to that nun.
Oh, yeah, she just handed it on the
Yeah, it was $4 million.
on the street. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
she had a hard time letting go of the check.
Yeah, that's right.
It was $4 million, but still.
He said to do it.
I know it's a dated reference, but yeah, he was telling her to do it.
Terribly dated and somewhat vague. Nobody remembers that scene from that movie.
Well, Swayze was standing next to her, so give her that. But
I know how it went.
kind of tough though. She had to sign over the check to her, and she was.
She wanted the money.
Yeah, of course she wanted the money. She's like, I'm keeping this $4 million. He said,
I hell you are.
Patrick Swayze, I was killed for that money.
We're receiving several calls, and people want me to remind you.
I'm aware that I did
You
not
once stole
100. What?
50 Chick-fil-A gift cards.
All right. Oh, okay.
They're saying before you high horse it, and yes, I'd give half away.
I didn't say I'd high horse it.
Oh, look, everyone's hanging up now because they all.
I didn't say I was high horsing. Let me clear it up. Okay, let me clear it up.
They're like, right. We've seen this act before.
Somebody says give something to those that are less fortunate. Okay, I have a problem. I would
say Dave and I are.
Okay,
Well, this is a little different.
I was thinking about.
we
Chris
hadn't
Dibb.
missed any meals.
I was thinking about Chris Dibb, and he's not less fortunate. And I didn't remember every time when that woman gave me 50 Chick-fil-A gift cards, said give it to Dave, Chris Dibb, and Biggie. I looked across the parking lot. There was Chris Dibb right there. I could have handed him 20 of them right there.
Right there.
But I decided just to use one on
And
my
we were right inside.
That's true. I used one on the way home, and then I just kept using them. And I thought, well, I'll give them one eventually, and I never did.
My favorite part is that you kept, as you use them, you'd knock down. You'd be like, well, they'll never know. I'll just give them 10 now.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, they'll never know. I'll just give them 5 now.
So you got to 1.
It got to the point where you could have handed us each one.
Yes.
And we'd have never known.
Yes.
And been like, oh, cool, thanks.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
But listen to what a good person I am. It bothered me so much I told you about it. I couldn't live with myself.
You're like a murderer who admits to it.
I couldn't live with myself.
I
Your
know
sorrow
I-
doesn't fill
listen.
my belly.
Remember that?
Listen, I know I killed him, but I'm telling you about it.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to eat Chick-fil-A since. That's
Bull.
what the whole thing. I can't even have
Look,
it. I don't
look
even
at
have
it.
it. I don't
Look
even
how
have it now.
gaunt he is, Biggie.
Exactly. I don't. That was my punishment. It's like Thinner. It's like
That's
the old.
right.
It's like the Stephen King book Thinner. I was cursed by that. That's what happened. It turned me gaunt. You see that? I can't enjoy.
guilty. It's guilty gaunt.
It's guilt gaunt. I couldn't live with myself. I could
Kelly
not
got
live.
guilt
I
gaunt.
could not live with myself. I got guilt gaunt. We have another good story here today. A bus driver in Canada is being hailed a hero, and with good reason. He stopped a bus just in the nick of time. He was on a highway when an 18-wheeler hauling rocks drove off an overpass and landed in front of him.
Good God.
Yes. But he was able to slam on the brakes and control the bus just enough that he stopped 1 foot short of the 18-wheeler. They say it saved the lives of the bus full of school children that were on the bus. He talked about it later, and then the school superintendent said, yeah, he's a hero.
As soon as I hit the guardrail, immediately just took a hard right and then came down over the embankment. I was hard on the brakes, and for a few seconds, I wasn't sure if I was going to get stopped in time, to be honest with you. I was so glad when I did get the bus stopped, and I checked with the kids to make sure they were all okay. And thank God they were all seated in their seats at the time.
I think he's a hero. Yeah, absolutely. Took 6 seconds to stop, which is hard enough in a compact sedan, let alone a 13 to 14-ton bus.
How about that? He's driving a 14-ton bus. He stopped it in 6 seconds.
Straight out of a Hollywood action movie.
Yeah, with a truck landing in front of him. A
Yep.
truck clearing rocks, hauling rock. The guy's name, the hero's name is Terry Brown. The school superintendent was Cody McNeil, who's called him a hero, which I think he is.
Those are the ones you want to see some video from.
I know.
Like you wish there was a
Gosh, yeah.
camera on
I
a
know.
light pole somewhere.
There should be video of that. You're exactly right.
That's too bad. Well, good.
I agree. He did a good job there.
Yeah.
That's the good story, the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm going to be... This is going to be difficult for me. All day I'm going to be thinking back to that decision I made on not
Yeah.
getting those Chick-fil-A
Guilt
sandwich
gone.
gift cards.
Every time you think about it, look down at your gut.
Well, wait, what gut?
exactly.
Exactly. Look what's happened to me now.
Look at my abs.
Look at what's happened.
Look
I
at
know.
this.
I know.
Look at this body of work.
I'm
Yeah.
cursed.
What's funny is that was old version of Smug You, and this is the new version of Smug You. Old version of Smug You was, I deserve this.
And to punish himself, Biggie, he's going to go exercise today on a
That's
Friday.
right.
Oh, today's your day off.
No.
No. We do something called, oh my God, I've got a great story from the gym from yesterday. We do something called Mayhem every year. It's 1 week of the hardest workouts of the year. They do it twice, once now, and they have an October thing too. But you have to do 4 out of 7 to get a T-shirt. Today's day 7. I've done them all.
Of course.
So I'm going to go ahead and finish it out today.
Got to.
Yesterday, listen to this. I wasn't there for this, but they have classes at our gym. You know, it's like classes start 5 a.m., 6:30, 7:30, so forth. Well, yesterday's class was like 7:30, and the woman who was supposed to teach the class, she lives like 30 minutes away, and she was letting her dog out to use the bathroom, and when the dog came back in, the dog brought a skunk into the house.
Ooh, live?
Live, and it sprayed the house. So the skunk sprays the house, okay? So the woman who's supposed to teach the class calls to get a substitute teacher, and they're like, well, we can be there, but it'll be late. You know, it's getting too late to get there. And so she says, well, okay, well, I'm just going to go then. I'm going to go and teach the class. So she gets there right at 7:30 when the class is supposed to start. The people are there to take the class. And when she walks in, they all go, oh, my God.
Yeah.
What is that
I was going to
smell?
say, she smells like
They
it.
had to cancel it. They had to cancel the class because she got sprayed with a skunk.
She didn't know she smelled as bad as she did.
Right, exactly. She didn't know that she smelled as bad as she knew the house smelled.
Now it's in her car.
It's in her hair, it's in her car, it's in her clothes.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, my God.
It is terrible.
I can't believe the dog got the skunk in alive.
I know. The skunk was alive, sprayed the house. Then they had to try to get the skunk out of the house. They were able to manage to get it back out
They
of the
keep
house.
spraying.
God, that is awful, isn't it?
Oh, that's the worst.
It really is.
Horrible.
There's a woman here. This has to do with animals, too. Bad story. Late last year, Charlotte Rush took her family on a trip to Pismo Beach. This is in California. I don't know the beach, but it's called Pismo Beach. Her children, 2 sons, collected rows of clams and they wound up collecting, I believe it was 78 clams. Well, a police officer, beach police, came up to her, and by the time he found the clams, they were dead. And he said, your children have collected these clams illegally. I have to fine you for every single clam.
Oh.
The fine was, at the end of the day, $88,000.
The what?
$88,000. Lieutenant Matthew Gill with the Department of Fish and Wildlife said, yeah, rules are in place to protect these shellfish. They're very precious to us here. You do not collect clams, and there are signs posted everywhere.
Oh, there's signs.
$88,000.
What time of day was it that they were getting them? Was it dark and they didn't see the signs?
No, it wasn't dark. No, it wasn't.
Oh, then they're guilty.
Well, now she said she had not seen the signs. The woman said, I didn't notice the signs. That apparently what happens is they are juvenile clams, and they have to be left alone so they can grow and produce offspring and so forth. And the guy says, look, if you had a sand dollar or a dead animal or something like that, I'll let you get away with it. But these are live clams. You've collected them. Now they're dead, and you owe us $88,000. She hired a lawyer, and they wound up talking the fine down to $500.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
I thought you were going to say half.
It's a big difference. This is the mom.
My kids were picking, or they thought they were collecting seashells, but they actually collected clams, 72 to be exact. Right before we went, I had decided to look at it, and that's when I saw the amount. It was just really sad. It made me really sad and depressed, and, it kind of ruined our trip. They know now at the beach, don't touch anything. But, they know now what a clam is compared to what a seashell is. I've had to explain that to them. It was definitely one expensive trip to Pismo. Unforgettable.
It's $500, but she thought it was going to be $88,000. Who can pay $88,000 on a clam fine?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
I guess they do that for people who really might be trying to make a profit off of it.
I suppose.
Clamming illegally.
That must be it.
But this is just bad luck and not knowing.
There's a sign.
I guess
Yeah.
in this, I think they could have forced her to pay it.
They could have. I thought when you said that they were going to knock it down, I thought you were going to say they knocked it down to 40,000.
But I think in this case, they saw, I bet you're right. I bet the rule is there for people who are clamming illegally.
Yeah.
They saw this was just kids and a mom, and they were like, all right, $500 fine, that's it, but learn your lesson. She has gotten a tiny tattoo of a clam on her lower back to remind herself of this incident.
I guess that's better than her inner thigh.
Now that is not needed.
Right below her belly button.
She said, I wanted to remind myself of this lesson.
You don't need a sign down here, sugar.
No.
I know where to go. What's this, directions?
We got a clam bank down here. No. She said, I
We got
want
somebody
and
digging
that's-
clams.
She said, I want to.
And let me say this: whoever asked her about that tattoo that's not the story you're going to expect from it.
No.
What you got a clam tattoo for? Will you see my children
Children.
Nearly cost me $88,000.
That's right.
Where'd you get it?
Lower back. What do you call it? Tramp stamp.
Yeah.
She has a
Oh,
clam.
she's got it back there.
She has
I
a
hope she
clam.
put a dolphin on there jumping over it at least.
She said she wanted that clam to remind herself never, ever to do something like that
And
again.
anybody else that goes back there.
Yes. To pay attention to signs. To pay attention to signage.
But
you know?
she got it to remind herself.
Yeah, but now she can't see it.
I know. Why is she putting it on her
Put it on
back?
the wrong side. I know. Well, maybe she thought the front side would be, like you were
Yeah.
just
A little
saying.
too obvious?
A little too obvious. And she didn't want it on her upper body, I suppose. I don't know the woman, but she said she wanted it as a reminder to never clam dig ever again.
Yeah.
And her kids know
I guess
that.
as long as you don't put an arrow around it. Yeah. This way.
Yeah. I agree. But I do see the connection there between the female anatomy
Yeah.
and the clam.
I don't like clams.
I don't either. I do like oysters.
Love oysters.
I do like scallops.
Love scallops. Gosh, scallops are the
When they're
best
done
if they're
right,
done
now,
right.
scallops are good.
Oh man, butter and they're just done right. Oh,
I've
my
had them rubbery, but when
God.
they're good,
no,
man,
they're expensive. But clams are always, I guess they're always fried and they're
Yeah,
always
I guess so.
chewy.
Chewy.
I don't like it.
Now I do like.
And just stringy.
They are, but I like calamari. That's not clam though, is it? That's
No, that's
Squid.
That's complete. That's mollusk.
yeah, that's right.